excited to be sharing with you my topic today, which is very much about Juice Plus, where we are now, where we're going to. It's also, as part of that, it's very much about you and how you connect with the Juice Plus company and with with the direction we're going. So it's really important that I want to talk about both together. First, I'd like to tell you about my own story. I came across the Juice Plus business. It wasn't called the Juice Plus business then, it was called NSA. In 1989, a good friend of mine phoned me up and just said, I've got something, you need to see this. It's amazing, it's incredible. There's a meeting at a hotel tomorrow. Will you come along to the meeting? I said, sure, great, yes. And bizarre as it sounds, I had an amazing feeling when I put the phone down. Every now and again in your life, you have these certain feelings. I had that feeling, and I've not had that feeling too many times in my life. And I just had that feeling. But anyway, so I went to this presentation. I was expecting that there might be 10 people there or 15 people. And I walked into a room of the Novotel Hammersmith in London to 1,000 people. And I was just like, wow, what is this? So I sat there, listened to a presentation. This guy called Jay Martin, he came on the stage, and up to that point, I wasn't really sure. I wasn't quite feeling it. And this guy came on the stage who was so warm and charismatic, very low key, telling stories that I didn't even feel related to business. He was just telling these stories, and they were just fabulous, and they connected with me. And he told this story about this watermelon. And when he told me this story about this watermelon, I turned around to my friend who brought me to this meeting and said, I'm in. Don't ask me why the watermelon made me feel like I wanted to join this business, but it did. And maybe that was a vision for the future with fruits and vegetables, because at the time we didn't have the fruits and vegetables vegetable products and our nutritional supplement range. So anyway, I started as a distributor. I was 24. I really saw the big potential of the business. I don't know what it was. I'd never been particularly successful in my life before. I'd not done particularly well at school, did okay, flunked out at the A-level with one A-level, a poor A-level, just about scraped through. I planned to go to university, didn't make that. So I was effectively not really successful in, let's say, the school system. I then got a job prior to Juice Plus, and didn't do particularly well. And I felt, this is my chance, this is my opportunity to make something of myself. So I decided I was going to give it every single ounce of my energy and try and achieve what I heard was possible in this business. And I effectively got my life and got everything, and I just threw it to the side, like you can imagine, clearing all the papers off your desk. That was my current life, which was going out, having fun, going to football matches, doing all kinds of things, and said, this is where I'm going to put my energy into. And I did exactly that. And I was able to really progress through the business quite quickly, be successful. And within a number of years, I was able to become one of the top distributors within Europe. And I had the dream situation of working in many different countries all over Europe. I lived in Brussels for a while, spent a lot of time in Amsterdam. I lived in Paris. That had been my dream for years. Years and years, I lived in the center of Paris, and that was probably one of the best years of my life. Oops, don't tell my wife, she's around the corner. But that really was one of the best years of my life. And I was just living the dream and enjoying the business and just feeling, wow, this is amazing. Then I went to live down between Nice and Monaco and spent some time there. Then I moved to Milan. I spent time in California. So I'd been all over the world traveling with this business, was just loving it, giving everything to the business. And then one of the corporate members of the company, of the Juice Plus company, came to me and said, listen, we'd like to have you as part of the Juice Plus corporate team. And I felt, I was thinking, okay, I've got this amazing free lifestyle, and to be part of a corporate team is a very different situation. But I decided to go with that approach. And I became part of this corporate team and created a partnership with the Juice Plus company, and did that for over 12 years. And absolutely loved it, and saw a very different side of the business. working with the corporate team and the challenges. There's some things I felt as a distributor that we needed. And then when I was on the other side of the table, I realized, it's not as easy maybe as it seems. And then a number of years later, I moved from that role into becoming a shareholder with the company. I've been with the company for 31 years. As a distributor, I achieved all my goals, really all my lifetime successful goals, whether it was driving an Aston Martin in my 20s, which was important to me at the time. I don't care for cars now. I've got some old battered up cars now, but that was what was important in my 20s. That was what I felt I wanted to have, so I could bring out the inner James Bond in me in my 20s. It makes me laugh thinking back. But one of the things I really wanted to do with the business early on, and I'd listened to my mentors within the business, is to build a long and stable business. And that's what I really want to talk about today, with you building yourself a long and stable business. But it's also the goal of the Juice Plus company. That's what we want to do with the business. Now, inspiring healthy living around the world. That is the strapline of the company. That's what we do in every way. And we have the incredible Juice Plus products that you all know. We've got the range with the complete products, the uplift, the bars, the suits. We've got all these different ranges. But it's really about inspiring people to be their best self. And that's what I want to encourage you to be, is to be your best self. Now, that's what we as a company want to do, but that's what will help you build your team, if that's your focus, and have the most success. So what does building your best you look like? Well, it's firstly you taking the full range of products. When people say to me, hey, how can I be successful in this business? I always say the most important thing you must become is a product of the product. You need to take all of the product yourself, every single one of the products daily. You need to know them. You need to know them inside out. You will have your favorites. We all have our little favorites. For me, it's the Omega. I just love that Omega. The funny thing is, I'm really quite a recent, I've only really fallen in love with this product recently. I listened to a talk by Mitra Ray, and she just gave me the extra dimension to this product. Even though I've been taking it, I fell more in love with it later. So you're always learning in this business. So we want you to become a product of the product, and we want you to become your healthiest, best self. By you becoming your healthiest, best self, it sets you up to be the most successful in our business and allows us, the company, to fulfill our goal of inspiring healthy living. Now, it's no good taking all of these products and then going out and having 2 bottles of whiskey a day. I mean, obviously you're not going to do that exactly, but I think you get my point. So we as the Juice Plus company, we as the distributors, what we're all trying to do is inspire people to bring them the lifestyle to match our incredible products. So as Jay Martin, our founder, says, the Juice Plus products are at the central point. They're the nucleus of our healthy lifestyle, and that's the very central point, and that's where we start. And if and some people say, well, I only really want to take the complete. I don't want to take all of the products. I'm 19 or 20 or 21. I don't need all that other healthy stuff. And I say, no. Imagine you build an organization, even if you think when you're in your 20s, and I remember it very, very well myself, you think you're indestructible, you think you're just this body, you don't even think about getting older. It's just not part of your psyche. But here's the point is, if you think about this, if you have 200 people in your team, do you want those 200 people just to be taking complete, or just to be taking the Omegas, or just to be taking Vineyard? No, you want to build a team that's duplicating yourself, taking all of the products. So again, that is who we are, the Juice Plus company. Now this year it's been very, very uncertain and challenging times for everyone, and there's never been a better time for people to really focus on their own healthy living. And definitely my mum is 80, and it was one of the things I was really making sure with her is that she was getting all of her Juice Plus products and more. I made sure she was super, super stocked up. And this is a very important year for making real focus on your health. So that's the key point with the Juice Plus company. We want you to be your best self, and that is your job. Now, we want you to have the Juice Plus glow. So you say, Juice Plus Glow? What is the Juice Plus Glow? The Juice Plus Glow is the glow you get from better health. Now, we all know when we look in the mirror and we just go, oh, I'm looking pretty good today. I'm not looking too bad. I'm looking great. And we sort of look and we think, wow, this is nice. It's nice when we look good. We're happy when we look good. And if you just take a stop and think back to the 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 days prior, you'll find that you've probably had a cleaner diet, which is why you have this healthy look. Well, the Juice Plus products will enhance that Juice Plus glow with all those fruits and vegetables going through your body. And that's who we want you to be, but we want you to be that every day. Again, that's who we are as a company. Now, as a company, we have been around 50 years. We've had the Juice Plus product range since 1993, and we've been perfecting that product ever since. Now, when Juice Plus came out, at the time we had many products at the San Diego launch of Juice Plus. But funnily enough, the Juice Plus wasn't given the big fanfare. It was almost just slipped in like, oh, we've got this fruit and vegetable supplement that we had, because we didn't know ourselves how big it was going to be. And then what happened is people started taking it and using it more and more and more. And we started hearing stories from person to person about how great they felt with the Juice Plus products. And it just created its own growth, person to person recommending the product. Now, we as a company, one of the key moves we made, and it was one of my favorite parts of my corporate job, I sort of feel I've had these different lives with the Juice Plus company. And one of my lives with the Juice Plus company was the corporate side. And it was the bit that I loved was when the decision was made by the company many years ago to do scientific studies on the Juice Plus products. Because it's not right. If I have some benefit from taking Juice Plus, for example, I can't stand here and say, oh, Juice Plus did X, Y, and Z for me, because that's not correct. Because, Juice Plus will do something for it will do something for everyone in a different way, whether it's give you more energy, make you feel healthier. But we can't make any claims because, eating healthy will do amazing things for you, but we can't say anything specific. So what we decided to do, and it was the best decision we ever did, was to do these scientific studies. And I had the pleasure of working alongside, not directly working alongside, but I was the point person for some of the studies that were done, like Dr. Essa Bermonti, who did the Milan study, or there was the Foggia study. And I loved it because I would meet these doctors and have a chat, and they would share their findings. And it just used to fill me with such energy and enthusiasm when they were sharing with me the findings that they were going to put into a published article. So that was really something as a company that we realized that we had to do to really give the full credibility. And the width and breadth of our scientific studies, they just blow me away. And there's more coming, and there's continually more coming. So that was a key differentiator for the Juice Plus company. And, we're not stopping there. So that's sort of, let's say, that's the history. But then going forward, we're just going to keep on bringing more out and more of these scientific studies. And that's really what allows you to have the credibility to approach different people. And, and when I started sharing Juice Plus, I wasn't a credible person. I didn't have a credible background in health or wellness, but I was equipped with these studies that helped me share this message. So this, again, is a key part of the Juice Plus company and what we do. It's very, very important. But what's funny, and I remember having really, great times. John Blair, he was one of the earlier product managers. Let's say he was in charge of the Juice Plus products. And I remember once having a dinner with him in Italy. We had this meeting of all the worldwide managers. And I remember him just saying to me, oh, I'm just so excited. We've got this Concord grape, and it's a new Concord grape, and we're introducing it to the products, and it's got a higher level of resveratrol, which is the nice bit, the antioxidant bit of the red wine. And he was just going crazy about these small details. And it was just blowing my mind, thinking, wow, this is just one little piece of one of the many fruits and vegetables that are within the Juice Plus products. And he was going crazy. Now, there was no big fanfare because we had this new grape, We, since 1993, I'm saying we, the Juice Plus company, we've been continually upgrading and improving the Juice Plus. And we don't sort of suddenly come out and go, oh, new improved formula. It's just part of what the Juice Plus company is doing. Think of it, 27 years. We were so far ahead of our time. I do remember at the time talking to people about the Juice Plus, and they were saying things like, wow, it sounds like space food. Whereas today it's very much accepted as part of what we do in society, is taking nutritional supplements to improve our health and improve our well-being. Sometimes it's just for our mind, our mental well-being. But, with the Juice Plus studies, I think it allows you to share these with more confidence with people that you know. So the big question, I say to other people, do you want to come on the journey with us? The next years with the Juice Plus company, we really are going on a huge worldwide expansion. Just some weeks ago, we just added another 130 million people to our market. We launched the Mexico market, but we've really mainly been in North America and sort of, let's call it Western Europe. And if you think about, the numbers of those, it's kind of very much sub a billion. Maybe with Mexico now we're getting around a billion. And if you think of the worldwide population of, I'm guessing somewhere around the 7 billion, we really have not touched the size in terms of the expansion. And over the next several years, it's very much a focus of the Juice Plus company to expand into all of these markets. We recently expanded into Singapore and Malaysia. Those markets are just starting. So this worldwide expansion is very, very much starting. But you've got to ask yourself, do you want to be part of the journey with us? It's very much a train that's going along, and we stop regularly and people can jump on and join the journey. But you've got to ask yourself, do you want to be part of this journey, helping people improving their health and wellness and their lifestyle? And why not be your best you? I mean, it's your job. It's your job to look your best you. And when you look your best you will have friends and family say, hey, what are you doing? Something's changed. You're looking, I don't know what it is. You're looking younger. You're looking fresher. You're looking healthier. What is the best calling card you can do by looking your best you? And when I talk about looking your best you, I'm not talking about having a swimsuit body or a six-pack if you're a guy. I'm not talking about that at all. I only wish, I think many of us wish, but it's not about that. It's about you looking fresh and healthy. And what I like to do is my hobby. I like to find other people who are my age and then ask myself, do I look fresher and healthier than they are? And usually I believe, in my mind, I win that race. Not always, and I love to meet someone who I think, wow, they look even fresher and healthier than me. I need to work even harder at this. But that's what we do. That is the company. That's what it's all about. But I want to ask you a question. Just think of you as an individual. Do you deserve more out of life? Do you? As a person, think of your character. As a person, typically we're taught through the school program, and I definitely didn't win in that program. We're taught that you have to build yourself to the top of this pyramid. If you get this top little bit, you can be successful, which normally involves going to university and then beyond and doing either a PhD or an engineering degree or a law degree or become an accountant, whatever. We're sort of seeing that that's where success is, and if you fall outside of that, you can't be successful. Not at all. Not at all. I want to invite you, into the Juice Plus company and give everything you can do to be successful and to achieve your full potential, because that's what it did for me. And that's what I saw when I looked at the Juice Plus business. I felt like it was a home for me, that I could have the chance of being successful. And here's a story I heard many years ago at a meeting I went to in California. It was a story by the speaker on the stage. And when I was at a meeting, and he referred to a meeting he did, and he had 500 people in the room, and it was like conference style chairs, kind of those hard ones you sit in, those kind of conference style meeting rooms. And at the front, in the middle of the stage here, and right in front of the speaker, there was this lovely, big, comfortable, beautiful, almost like one of those things you can just sink into armchair. So when he started the meeting, every seat in the room was pretty much taken except for this armchair. So he reached out to the person on the left of the armchair and he said, "Excuse me, madam, why are you not sat in that lovely armchair just next to you?" And the woman answered, "Well, I presumed it was for someone else." And then spoke to the person on the other side and said, "Sir, there's a lovely seat next to you. Any reason why you're not sat in it? Why are you sat in that hardback chair when you can have that lovely soft one?" And he just sort of said, "Yeah, same. I just presumed it was for someone else." And that is, ladies and gentlemen, how most of us see success. And it was kind of that way for me. I was going to go to study business studies at university, didn't make the grades and thought, I want to go and work. Education thing is not for me. And most people see that success is for someone else. And I want to tell you here right now that success can be for you. Can be for you. But your job is to get yourself looking and feeling as healthy as possible and join our mission to help and inspire other people in the world to improve their lifestyle and their healthy lifestyles and be their best person. That's what we do. And so, I want to really say to you, I've been in this business for over 31 years in some shape or another. And I've met all of the top people not all of the top, I've met many of the top people, and I keep on meeting the new top people. I love going to the big conventions and meeting the different leaders. And my biggest question is, hey, how did you make it? What's your background? I want to know. And what I found is that I'd say 95% of the people that made it to the top did not have a successful background before they joined our business. Not everyone, but many. And that's really what I want to appeal to you is we have the path. We have the path for you. We have the journey, but it takes some discipline and it takes some commitment. And it sort of reminds me of a story many, many years ago. And it's what I realized. I realized when I looked at my life and then I was in this business, that I realized I'd never given anything a commitment before. I'd not given school a commitment. I've not really, when I worked in the corporate world for 3 years, I've not really given that a commitment. And I vowed to do it within this business. And it's what I would say to you is you have to give it a commitment. And here's a little story of my own commitment and a decision, a very, very serious decision I had to make one time. And that was my upline had phoned me one time and said, I'd like you to come to Tobago. He'd started doing very well, was very successful with the Juice Plus company, and he invited me on this 5-star villa in Tobago, all expenses paid, food, everything, just the best of everything. All I had to do was get myself there. And he'd invited me a week before the trip was about to happen and said, I'd love you to come and share my success with me. And what I remembered is that I'd had a meeting that I had to go to. So initially I said yes, and then I was like, oh, hang on a second, I've got actually a meeting I have to do in Holland in a place called Groningen. I had to go there and speak for a fellow distributor that I'd promised to do a speech for him at his meeting. And that's how we work. Lots of the national marketing directors and top, or at the time, national marketing director was the top position. Now there's other positions above that. But I was, we all would help each other with our meetings. And I suddenly remembered I had this meeting that I'd committed to. And I said, I need to come back to you. And I had this really difficult decision to make. It was fly to Holland on my own expense. It was in December. I think it was something like the trip was maybe the 19th of December, and the trip to Groningen was maybe the 21st of December. Anyway, there was a crossover, and I had to be there. It was like in now or not at all. And I had that decision to make: do I go or to this Tobago Caribbean trip or not? And in the end, I really, really had the difficult decision to make, and I had to phone the national marketing director in Groningen and say, I can't make it, I'm off to Tobago. No, I'm only joking. I had to turn down the trip to Tobago. I just thought I'd fool you there for a quick second and head you in the wrong direction. But what then happened is I went to Groningen, and it was really cold and icy for that meeting, and there was nearly no one turned up to the meeting. And I remember going for a walk afterwards, somewhat perplexed, somewhat frustrated, and thinking, wow, I came all this way, but virtually no one turned up. It was not a great meeting. I could be in the Caribbean right now sunning myself, and here I am. And I had a walk, and I realized that was almost a turning point for me for understanding this piece of commitment. What is commitment? Committing is doing what you set out to do long after the mood in which you set the commitment in has left you. That is commitment, and that is how you get to the top in our business. And I really learned something that at that time with turning down that meeting, turning down the holiday and going to Groningen instead and doing that meeting. I learned something very, very clear about what commitment is. And since then, I've been able to afford tons of those villa holidays where I've been inviting the other people. I've been the guy saying, hey, come with me to my villa. More than, and that's the point, is you turn one down and invite on someone else's dollar so that you can be the person who is the one sharing those holidays out. So that's, a really, really key learning for me. And that's what I want to sort of say to you is, can you give the commitment? Can you do that? That is part of our business. So going forward, our business. So, many of you will ask yourself, well, yeah, but have I got what it takes? It's one thing having commitment, but have I got what it takes? The Juice Plus company, we're waiting for no person. We are, going with our worldwide expansion. We're spending tens of millions on a new whole infrastructure to make it easier for you to do the business, and almost, as I call it, sort of Amazonifying our business. And what do I mean by that is, if you think of the Amazon company, why have they been so successful? Why are they worth more than a couple of trillion dollars or in and around that figure? It's basically down to they make it easy for you to use their products. And that's what we want to do as the Juice Plus company, is make it easy for you to build your distributorship. But, have you got what it takes to get to the top? And I want to give you two parallels, and talking about commitment. I want you to think of K2, the mountain, which is somewhere where is K2 right now? Is it in India? I can't quite remember. But anyway, K2, the number 2 largest mountain in the world. And then we have Everest, which is obviously the number 1. Now, here's the thing that's interesting between the two. Everest, it was, I don't know I think it's improved, but it was where 1 in 6 people who achieved the summit or went close to the summit would not come back. Now, there's a commitment, something I definitely wouldn't do, and I would not be interested in doing that. Maybe now the odds are slightly better. Or you have K2, where it's a really tough climb, but probably 98% of us on this call could do K2 with a few weeks of training. Now, that's how I see our business. Our business is not an Everest, and I've heard people compare getting to the top of the Juice Plus business like climbing Everest, and I'm like, no, it's not like climbing Everest. It's like climbing K2. K2, everyone can do it, or most people can do it. It's just difficult, and it just takes a long time and a lot of dedication and a lot of commitment, and that is the situation with our business. I love the success stories of people who took a long time to get to the top of our business. I'm less inspired at the people who just got up and, within a year they're at the top position. That doesn't excite me. I love the person that battled and persevered and kept going and struggled, and it was tough, and they had their down moments and they were doubting themselves, but they kept going. They're the stories that I love. But I can tell you, I've met so many hundreds of people at the very top of our business, and what every single one of them had was staying power. They had commitment, they had ambition, they had drive, and they had this non-stop determination. We, the Juice Plus company, in our 50th year, we're still learning, we're still developing. The best is yet to come, as Jay Martin says. There is no stopping us, but we want people like you to be with us through the whole journey. And I know most of the people I'm talking to now, you are mostly with us in the business, but you know, if it's your first 30, 60, 90, 120 days, you're still going through the experience, the Juice Plus experience. Make sure you keep the product at the center of your business. Make sure that the Juice Plus product is always at the center of your business. Because if it's at the center of your business and everything is around the Juice Plus product and everything is focused on that, you will be successful. If there is great earnings and income to be earned from our business, but if that is your story, always talking about the great earnings, the great income, the great potential, it's going to be much more difficult for you to build a business. If you talk to any long-term leader in our business, they will always tell you that it's all about keeping the product right in the center, keeping yourself as healthy as you can be right in the center, and that is how you will be successful. The future with our business is phenomenal. We really want to see you with us right at the top of the business. Be a product of the product. Take all of the products daily. Look after your physical health. Look after your mental health by reading positive books, listening to the YouTube channels of all positivity or podcasts. Keep your physical health the best, your mental health the best. Stay committed, keep going, and you will have the best life for years and years and years to come. This is truly a career. This is not something you do for a little while. This is truly a career if you want it to be. And I've got so many stories. I would love to meet you at some convention and tell you all of the stories I've got of all of the successful people and all of the things that they've done. And that's what you need to do. When you meet someone successful, ask them questions. Ask them how they made it. Ask them what they did before. And you will really be convinced then that you truly can have what you want from this business in any way you want. Good health. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Next up, PMD Plus.